What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Jacob and Me podcast. I am one of your hosts, Richard Radillo. And if you didn't know what the Jacob and Me podcast is... Okay, thanks for interrupting me, Jacob. But anyways, let me tell you what the Jacob and Me podcast is. Jacob is my best friend, and sometimes Jacob says interesting and crazy shit. So we would like to record these moments and show them to you, I guess. So... I forgot what I was going to say after that, but our hero in arms, the man, the myth, the legend, Jacob. Welcome back to your podcast.
It's a me, Jacob.
So, as you can see on the title of the video, it's going to be us. We're going to be playing Rocket League, as you can see. But we are also going to be talking about we just watched it about an hour ago, and we just accumulated all of our thoughts and whatnot on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch launch event thingamaboo. They announced a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to talk about it and tell you what we think, because we think we are somewhat experts in this field, and I think you should really validate our opinions. So, yeah. Are you ready, Jacob?
I'm ready.
How's your day been so far? I should probably
totally
have a timer
ready.
going on. Oh, yeah.
I've been busy, but it was good.
We both been busy, really. We haven't really.
I was
gotten
looking
a
forward.
chance.
I was looking forward to today. Looking forward all
Definitely.
week to this.
You
this
reminded
reveal.
me. You actually reminded me that this whole thing was going down. I was like, "Holy shit! This actually is gonna happen." I totally forgot about it. I remember we got the announcement back in October, right? Pretty sure. And they said,
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
And then we're gonna do this. And then I remember doing all the video game dailies, which is gonna be coming back. I think should be coming back next week. I've just been super busy in the morning. Won't be able to do it tomorrow. But them doing all those episodes and getting some views on that because of just Nintendo Switch news and stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. I think we'll split this up into a bunch of videos and episodes or whatever we're gonna call it to split it up. But let's go ahead and talk about basically topic number one, and basically in pricing, I guess release date and then hardware. That'll be like one kind of, I think, good solid topic that we can talk about for the next probably like 15, 20 minutes maybe. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so let's get into it. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Yeah, I still don't think that it's really like hit me yet that like there's a new console coming out in like 6 weeks.
Start a game
6 or 7 weeks now.
we can fail at this game while we talk about
Start it up.
This would be kind of fun. Like, already think about this would be kind of a fun game or a smart game to have Nintendo put on the Switch. It would make sense.
This is like it would be a great game to have like on the go,
Yeah.
local
Especially,
party
local.
game and online multiplayer. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward. Yeah, it's actually they should get it. And Rocket League is like very open with this IP, or I mean, whoever the people that make Rocket League, they've been like, it's on like everything. PC,
I think we're
PlayStation.
able to play cross-platform as well. So
Yeah, it's like one of the unique things about this game. Anyway, like moving
straight
back
off the topic,
more
my
towards
bad.
the Switch presentation. So they started off. I believe it was the president of Nintendo came out. He gave pricing and release date information. So the Nintendo Switch launches March 3rd, 2017, which is honestly a little bit sooner than I expected. And it's going to be at a suggested retail price of $300, $299.99. I mean, I guess that's I think a reasonable price, as I just slammed into you, my bad.
So-
I think it's a pretty reasonable price.
Oh,
You just put it in the back of the net? Oh, no, I didn't. Reasonable price. I think I would have liked in an ideal world to see it at $250, especially given the fact that you can get like a bare bones Xbox One, I believe, like even with a pack-in game, like for like $200, or like $250 at least. But I think $300 is not the end of the world. They're gonna score right now.
yeah, I think with the
$300
with,
not the end of the
with,
world.
I think with Nintendo they definitely do invest more in not just in like hardware processing, but hardware in the way you interact with the actual games and stuff. So like controls, I felt like they probably need to make that investment back in the controllers. So that's why, like, not to say like this is a high price, but to compare to that, I think it's kind of like Xbox. I think I've already. I don't know if they made their money back yet, but thanks for taking my goal, by the way. Oh wow! Oh wow! What a save! But what was I gonna say? Shit. But I think it's a reasonable price. I think it makes sense because it's basically launch. It's gonna be for those people that really want the title or wants the console that bad. And then what's it called? Release date. I mean, it seemed right. I would have went safer and would have gave them like an extra week or two, maybe in March.
I thought it would have been end of March.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was gonna be later in March, but they grabbed their balls and told us it's gonna be March 3rd. Basically, it's almost February.
Oh yeah, March 3rd. I might have messed that up actually earlier. Can't even read my own handwriting. Yeah, March 3rd. Oh, goal!
But yeah, let's go into the actual hardware and like. This was a really awkward conference for me in general. I felt like really uncomfortable watching it because like I felt like it was towards more of a Japanese audience, obviously, and they're obviously in Japan, but it felt like it was like they kind of didn't care about the American audience a little bit, even though they translated. But like some of the titles they like announced they didn't have like an English title connected to it. But going into hardware, I thought like they didn't really show much. They showed you, it can play these games, but didn't tell us like for like the Xbox One reveal, for the PlayStation 4 reveal, they actually told you what was in the actual like the RAM, like the actual like.
Yeah, we have no specs for this system.
Like
I think
no
that's
actual
like a
specs.
glaring omission. It's kind of hard for me to justify the $300. I mean, like I said, I think the $300 is reasonable, but without knowing what it's actually capable of, I mean, like, I suppose it's possible that basically all we're getting right now is like a Wii U pad. We don't really know. We don't really know like what. Although I would very much like to think that this is better than the Wii U gamepad, but
I think it may be slightly better.
There's no indication
remotely better. I don't think the games looked amazing. I don't think graphically. I thought like the Mario game looked good. The water, like when it was in the water, but like the setting of that Mario. We're gonna go back to the Mario game. But like the setting of the Mario game, that look when he was in like the real world, like New York looking kind of place, that didn't look. Like the taxis and stuff, it looked like really.
Oh, really? You didn't like that? I liked it.
No, like it looks kind of like an old GTA game or old game that tried to be like GTA. I'm like, what is? I was just a little confused of why that was in the I guess the direction they went with that. Oh fuck! What's that? I'm terrible at this game.
I don't know. I think it's just like a little bit of a different art style.
I guess, but yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what. I mean, I think the game will be a success because it's going back to like the N64 Mario. So I should work on that. I bet.
That was another thing that I really liked about the beginning of their presentation. How they like kind of walked through like each of the consoles that they've built.
Yeah.
Over like Nintendo's history, and they gave you a rundown of like kind of what features they took from those consoles and like how they were being integrated into the Switch.
Oh fuck!
Oh no!
Oh wow! I almost fucked that up for us.
Oh no! I went back across. So yeah, it obviously runs the like detachable controllers. That's something that we knew already from the trailer that went out in October. So it has two of the detachable controllers. They went into a lot greater detail about kind of like how those worked and the different way that those can function.
Okay, before we
with regards
move on
to
the
the
controls,
system.
I kind of want to make the Joy-Cons a kind of a topic in its own. I think they're kind of cool.
Okay.
Well, like, what was like your think of a hardware besides the controllers? What was like your final kind of thought of that in a way? Like, what is there like in the sense? In your head, like, are you thinking, oh man, I really want to buy this now, or like now, I'm kind of scared.
I definitely want to. I want to know like how it feels to hold. like what it feels like in my hand. I feel like just aesthetically, I forget what they call it, but like the just generic like holder that they have for the two little controllers. I think that it looks kind of clunky. I think the gamepad. I'm not. It was hard to get a feel for like how big the gamepad was.
Oh shit.
Stuff like that. I don't know. It obviously like, and we don't know specs either. There was a lot of stuff that they left out. That I need more information before I'm like 100% on board. I'm like 85% of the way
Like
there right now.
on launch, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, for launch. Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna be a launch guy for sure. After just like seeing like the first presentation, I'm like, okay, I'm not a launch guy right now. It seems like I can wait.
Another thing that will have a like big sway with me is like how much they're willing to integrate the like online functionality. They like briefly mentioned that like the connectivity of the device is going to happen through they kept using the term like smart device. So basically like your smartphone or your like tablet or whatever is going to be a downloadable app. And so what I took from it is that there's going to be a downloadable app, and that app is going to pair, like you're going to like, I would imagine Bluetooth pair your console with like your phone, and then from there, that's how you're going to like connect with your voice chat and stuff like that. And it was also interesting to see them move to like a paid service for the event, although there will be a free trial for the first few months that the Switch is out, but they are transitioning to a paid service. So I need to see like how all that's going to work too. I need a little bit more details about that.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that they didn't even have that like even like an idea. But like maybe they don't even have an idea of like who's gonna even pay for that service.
Oh, I just lost this thing.
I'm getting like lag right. I'm gonna go ask Carly real quick. Keep talking to him. Well, I'll be right back and ask Carly.
Okay. So another important thing that came out of the early part of the press conference was that there was no longer going to be region locking for any of the hardware and software incorporated into the Switch. So basically, if you were to take your console on the go, any sort of like long distance outside of your home country, you'll be able to use all the same hardware that had been allowed, or that you had been able to play. Basically, I was talking about how there's like the region locking has been removed. So like that was I think that's a smart thing for them to do anyway, especially with so many Japanese titles and stuff like that. It's good that they were able to work that out, and especially if they're going to focus so heavily on the device being something that's portable, that's going to be key at some point for some people. That's about really all I have on like the early part, the hardware. I guess if you wanted to go more into like the Joy-Con itself.
Oh wait, also the note, the battery life. It's two. They said it was also dependent on. I forgot to mention. Sorry about that. It's battery life is depending on the actual game, which is kind of interesting. And I'm still lagging for some reason.
Yeah,
Ooh, I got that. Cool.
I'm a little bit. That was nice. Yeah, like just messing around here. Put us in our own lobby while we're searching. I'm a little bit concerned about the battery life.
Yeah.
I think that what kind of like my impression of what they said, like the 2.5 to 6.5 hours. I would imagine that the 2.5 is like you're running Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. That has to be at least.
And then I would imagine the 6.5 is like you're doing nothing but sitting at like the home screen. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of how I imagine it going. But what I'm also concerned about is that like my smartphone, for example, right now, like when I get it out of the box, it's like, oh yeah, you have like you can run all day on a single charge. But then 3 months later,
The
you're down to
battery.
like 2 hours on a single charge.
For like
So
no reason.
I'm really concerned that I'm like really concerned that.
Well, I think that's like a manufacturing
they're-
error. Like that'll be a hit and miss for anyone, really. To be honest with you, like you can't. I don't think Nintendo will get away with that. They're gonna have to like do like a whole recall thing if that happened. They will probably.
but like any rechargeable battery, like it literally will not be as good the second time. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah.
It's so I mean like even if they build like a perfect battery, it will degrade over time. It's just like that has to happen. So I'm just concerned about battery life once, like what's the battery life gonna look like a month in, 6 months in.
Oh, good. The wear and tear. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like if I'm only gonna I'm gonna pay $300 and a couple months later like I can only play an hour of Zelda on the go. Like that's not worth it to me.
But I think that's gonna be over
I don't know,
time
I'm just
it'll wear over because I feel like it's gonna be like a similar thing like the DS. I don't think they'll have something there to where my DS charges just as well as I think I felt like it feels like.
And they did say that like able to play it while it's plugged in too. Like there's like a micro USB that you're going to be able to use. To keep that battery, going.
What?
Actually, while we're like still talking about the battery life and stuff like, oh, I just scored it again. That another thing. So like with the online multiplayer being tied to like some sort of smart device, that also like gives me battery concerns for like. So like my smartphone, for example, like it only really lasts like a few hours. The way it is right now, like if I'm now being forced to use my smartphone as like the conduit for playing online multiplayer, like so now I'm gonna get like on top of not being able to use my phone after I finish playing online multiplayer because my phone's dead. And so now like my phone battery is now relevant to me being able to get like the full.
Or like what if
experience of the
someone
Switch.
doesn't have a phone, like they have like they're like a regular person, because there's people out there that play video games that like only invest in video games. Now they might have to invest into a phone. I'm not saying there's like a lot of people out there, but there's going to be a number of people that are going to be like, wait, what? I have to have a smartphone now? Like I like a regular phone. It's like a regular person.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of just like, I think that it just introduces a bit of a unique problem that they're going to have to sort out.
All right, so I think that's like our hardware portion of it. We'll go into the Joy-Con next, so go check out that video because we're gonna continue this, I guess, or whatever.